Next up, at UFC Paris, we have Nora Cornolle taking on Joselyne Edwards. Nora Cornolle, 6-1 overall, 5-0 in her last 5. She is riding a 6-fight stoppage streak. She's taking on Joselyne Edwards. Joselyne Edwards, 13-4 overall, 3-2 in her last 5. She's riding a 3-fight win streak. And this is going to be an interesting fight. You can see this line flipped. Joselyne Edwards open as the dog, potentially could close as a favorite. It's dead even right now. It might not be even this minute. I made these graphics about 4 or 5 hours ago. But Nora Cornolle is a violent striker. She does have power. She does have aggression. She does a really good job of using all of her tools. She's going to elbow you against the cage. She's going to knee you in the clinch. She's going to punch and kick when she's at range. And everything she can do to try to get that KO or TKO. She doesn't really look to wrestle often, but when she's on the ground, she's got solid BJJ, and she's going to take risks chasing submissions. I love her aggression, but I hate the decision making, the taking risks to chase submissions. If you watch her tape, you'll see her in full mount, and then she'll bail on it to chase like an armbar or something and then lose it. I absolutely hate. I get it. You love to see the desire to finish the fight.
I hate when people try to win fights. It's crazy. It drives me insane.
I literally was just saying.
I hate. Oh my god! Could you imagine if you were in full mount and then you could finish the fight and you're like, no, Angelo says don't try to finish the fight. Okay. Because he's got 0.2 units on the over.
Take it out. Joselyne Edwards. Joselyne is a good kickboxer. She uses. You're not going to unit shame me. A unit for me is $100. So if I'm
the only reason I said that, you didn't make the connection.
Week,
that's what Farang said.
I could give a shit. I timed him out, dude. Farang is one comment away from being banned. It's not even this nonsense. He goes on all the vlogs too. He's like, "Oh, Angelo's spending premium money on whatever." Dude, if you think I'm fucking around, he's 2 comments away from gone forever. He could just start yelling into a void, being hidden from the channel. Taking on Joselyne Edwards. Joselyne Edwards is a solid kickboxer. She does use her range well. Nice variety of strikes, but she does prefer to kick. If you can get inside and you can make it dirty, you could potentially break her. But getting inside her range is not the easiest thing to do. She is on a nice 3-fight win streak with her most recent win being, yes, it was contested. It was very close, but she did beat Lucy Pudilova, where her striking and distance control were solid, but the takedown defense was not very good. This could be that fight, right? A UFC newcomer, a hyped prospect who was supposed to murder Joselyne Edwards could come in here and lose a very close fight. That's exactly what happened last time Joselyne fought, and that could happen here because, if Nora had more wrestling, like if she wrestled more often, I would actually trust her to win this fight. She is going to be my pick. And honestly, if this line flips, I may bet on her as an underdog because Joselyne's wrestling and her grappling is not great. And if Nora's going to go out there and she's going to push a wrestle game plan, then I'm going to love it. And I absolutely think she can get it. But for now, she's just going to be the pick. But this line is going the way that I want it to go. If it full-blown flips to plus money, I'll probably throw something on Nora. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Nora's not very good, and that's just the fact of the matter. She's won fights, she's got it finished, but the level of competition she's facing is not great. This should be, honestly, I think Joselyne Edwards should dominate this fight, but it is Joselyne, and we've seen fights of hers not go that way before. In her last fight, she got absolutely dominated. That was one of the worst decisions we've seen. They were even talking about in the Octagon. That was like, holy shit. I watched that fight back on Sunday, and I was like, yeah, how the fuck did they give her this fight? That was UFC Kansas City or something, and that was like the first fight of the night. That was like, I remember watching on the stream like, oh no, like this is not going to be a good day. But you mentioned in that fight, she lost that fight because of the takedowns, because she was able to get taken down, and those takedowns were easy. I mean, those were very, very easy to get. And Nora, a few fights ago, now was not against somebody that's any good at all, but she was able to get some takedowns, and the takedowns were decent. It was like body lock, little inside trips. So if she does get those positions, I do worry of Joselyne being taken down. She should be able to stay safe. She knows how to stay safe on the ground. And maybe even if she gets taken down the first round, Nora, with these first round finishes, doesn't have the gas tank to go all 3 rounds. In my mind, this is almost, and this is going to sound really stupid, it's almost like a load-up play for Joselyne here. I think she is the much better fighter with all the experience in the world, but she just gets taken down way too easy.
Yeah.
So she is my pick. I did put money on her because I think she is the much, much better fighter in this matchup. But I was real close to being like, okay, let's go a unit. Let's go a unit and a half. Maybe go 2 units on this value. But, you know, Nora could get a takedown, and then it gets weird after that. But I think Joselyne's a way better fighter.
Well, I actually agree with everything you just said. And the reason I picked Nora, though, is the rest of the 15% takedown defense. It's such an obvious hole. Like a giant hole.
Nora doesn't seem like
abilities.
a game plan type. She seems like I'm going to run forward and see what happens, you know.
I agree, but Joselyne doesn't really have power. Nora does throw with intent and can potentially make it. So, I mean, we both picked the same fighter, but I see all the same red flags you're seeing. I mean, Joselyne does have cardio. Joselyne can hang. She's not somebody you're just going to get out of.
And she came
there in
out
2
last
seconds.
time more aggressive than previous fights, too. They mentioned that in the commentary that, she's... And maybe that, you know, maybe she won't do that again because that's why she was taken down. So maybe she goes back to being that, you know, kind of tentative point striker.
Yeah. I mean, straight up, if Joselyne had better takedown defense, clear, easy pick for sure. My only hesitation and the reason I'm picking Nora is literally because, you know, that 15% takedown defense is tricky. It's tricky. It's such a clear path. Is Nora going to take it? I don't know. That's why I haven't bet it yet. But if Nora ends up a plus 130 underdog or something, I might throw $25 on it, $30 on it or something like that. That's a quarter of a unit for anybody curious, just to see what happens. You agree with that? Is there a number that you would actually bet on her or no?
On who?
Nora. I guess either one. But we already lost Joselyne's value. It's gone. That's not coming back.
I already said that I bet Joselyne.
But you also said it was super close, and you're worried about the wrestling.
Yeah, I literally was thinking about putting like a few $100s on Joselyne because I like the line, but it's like I'll put not quite that much. I did better.
Well, I hear you. We got $7,900 in DraftKings, $8,300 in DraftKings. I think Nora is probably the better DraftKings side because she's the one with the finishes. She's the one that can work in the wrestling. If Joselyne wins this fight, it's going to be a lot of dancing, a lot of jabbing, a lot of touching up. And that doesn't score as well as you would like it to, but that is sort of an affordable price point. But I'll probably have Nora in my lineup at the $7,900, hoping that she gets in some takedowns and makes stuff happen. What do you think of the DraftKings, Jakey Boombaloots?
Neither.
All right. Well, Jacob has neither, but if you want to see the full DraftKings write-up, we have a full entire section dedicated to DraftKings Fantasy, where Joey T, one of our viewers, won a $60,000 tournament, whatever, earlier this year. Joey T does the write-up, so he's going to give you his favorite cash core plays, his favorite large tournament plays, who he thinks you should fade, as well as some leverage plays. And we also have a guy behind the scenes putting out the data, building the ownership, building a cheat sheet with all of the projections in it. They are quite literally objective fact, the best projections in the game. Unlock that and everything else at WeWantPicks.com. Just click become a member at the top.